Mike McCormack is one of this country's more undersung writers. He's also one of its most original. The Mayo Man's first collection of short stories, Getting It in the Head, came out in 1996. Subsequent novels, Crow's Requiem and Notes from a Coma, consolidated his reputation. McCormack's new book, Forensic Songs, is his first book in almost 7 years. It's classic Mike McCormack stuff. Tales of wayward uncles and warring brothers, set against stories of technology prophets and ex-terrorists. Mike, interrogation is a recurring theme in a lot of your stories. So how does it feel to be back under the spotlight after 7 odd years?
Well, to be here, it's great. It's been a long time since I've been out in public answering questions on my work, so it's quite a thrill to be here. But yeah, you're right. There are numerous interrogations in my work. I think in more than one or two places there are people sitting down opposite each other, talking to each other and trying to figure out what's happening, what's going on, what does that mean. And that's partially my own cluelessness and my character's cluelessness. So that's what the book is about: forensics, knowledge, evidence.
You mentioned the interrogation scene in Blade Runner to me several years ago.
Do you mind if I smoke?
It won't affect the test. All right, I'm going to ask you a series of questions.
I think it's Sean Young that's interrogated across the desk from Harrison Ford in that one. It's just a brilliant scene. It's completely memorable. And yeah, maybe I've been rewriting that scene down the years and that. No, it just harps back to, that scene just develops all the themes that I've ever, what's reality? Who are we? Why are we here? And maybe we are here at the behest of someone else on that.
You're reading a magazine, you come across a full-page nude photo of a girl.
Is this testing whether I'm a replicant or a lesbian, Mr. Deckard?
Just answer the questions, please.
Forensic Songs comes from a place outside the theme park of Irish literature. I mean, you stray into speculative and futuristic and very cult-orientated areas.
Yeah, my book is soaked in popular culture. There are TV programs that are governing influences on it, parts of it. There's rock music, country music, films, and the thing I've always been interested in is video games as a kind of a narrative device. Can they show us something new about the world? Can they show us a new construct? Do they have political relevance?
The last story in Forensic Songs is called Prophet X, and it seems to make some sort of mystical comment about technology and faith while living on the edge of a black hole.
Some of the things that happened in the Celtic Tiger have now been shown to be fraudulent and spoofing and things in which it might not be wise to put our faith, or if we do put our faith in them, it might ask for a difficult recompense. And I think that's what Prophet X is about, is that can you believe this? It's about a Christ machine. It's about the world being in such a shambles that only an interventionist God, only a God of a Deus Ex Machina can sort things out. It's a trope from Greek theatre where things got so haywire that only God lowered down literally as a machine into proceedings could sort things out.
The news headlines are on, and they are not good. They wash through the pub in a grey wave. Stock markets across Europe continue to fall in the wake of a huge American investment bank filing for bankruptcy. The ECB has issued a bleak warning on interest rates, and at home the government denies there's any liquidity problem in our own banking system. Leo turns to me and spreads his hands, and this is Halloran and his technology, the Deus Ex Machina, the God from the machine, Techne and Logos finally brought together. And of course it's only right and fitting that Christ should come by way of the machine this time. He tried the flesh and blood route before. It ended badly, as I remember.
Irish writers, there has always been that reluctance to engage with the fantastical.
I remember being interviewed on this my first book 15 or 16 years ago, and I remember making no friends when I said that my totemic figures were not Joyce and O'Connor and O'Foyle and McGahern and that. My Olympian figures were all the B's: Bartholomew, Beckett, Borges and Ballard. They were and Kafka, just to mix things up. I do think that sometimes we've taken the Joycean template of the realist, linear, epiphanic model, and we've seen it as the only version of the short story. And I think that's limiting.
I wonder, were you one of those children that the adults looked at and said, God, he's a weirdo and I wonder what's going to happen to him?
Don't know if they said I was strange. Christie's head always stuck in a book. That was a great kind of freedom in being brought up in the country, because you read whatever you got your hands on, and your reading wasn't prescribed for you. It stood to me in some way that nothing is. Although I don't know much, and I don't think it's a fiction writer's job to know anything at all, I'm a great asker of questions, and I have great patience. I will out-patience nearly any question until it submits to me. So that's why it takes 7 years for a book.